feel free to raise your hand. I may say that, well, we're going to cover the topic anyway later in the presentation. So you may as well want to save your question for after the presentation. Behind me, or on your screen, wherever you are, you see a picture of our main campus in the city of Leeuwarden. As you can see, it's a beautiful green campus. And if you go on the NHLstenden.com website, we also have a great virtual tour available from this campus, where you spend like about 15 minutes and you can really see the campus from inside. It's really strikingly beautiful. And whoever who comes over says, well, this is great, right? Well, why studying in Holland? This is probably something a few of you have already considered for a while, or others have found out today. There are so many great options in the Netherlands. First and foremost, of course, it's the quality and reputation of our entire education system. So not just the individual universities, but the entire system. The quality is of very high standards, both at the research universities and at the universities of applied sciences. There's really no bad university in the Netherlands. Although there's maybe one or two I wouldn't necessarily recommend you to go to. Another important feature of Dutch society is that everybody speaks English. Even a 4-year-old kid speaks some English. A 77-year-old grandfather speaks English, and everybody in between. So if you go to the supermarket or your GP, or you go by public transport to another city in the Netherlands, English is your ticket. You don't need to study Dutch, although studying Dutch gives you some advantages as well. But that's for you as a person to consider the value. Speaking of value, it's something Dutch people are very keen on. Value in our eyes means getting something for a fee that you think, whoa, that's good stuff. For this fee. That's exactly what our education is like. If you look at the price tags of the university programs in the Netherlands and you compare it to the equivalents in the UK or in Switzerland or in Australia, you'll see that the Dutch education is modestly priced, right? The fees are affordable. Of course, there's still, you need money to study, that's obvious. But for a degree in either business or hospitality or in engineering in the Netherlands, you'll get good value for money. There's a lot of international students in the Netherlands, which is great. Some people also have some question marks around it these days, but in general, we really feel in Holland this is great, and the quality, reputation, and then the value aspect really have contributed to the growth and continuous growth of international students in the Netherlands. Student life is great. There's also a lot of programs to choose from. Basically, whatever you want to study in the Netherlands in English is available, except for nursing. I don't think there's any nursing program in the Netherlands in English. So everybody who wants to do nursing can leave the room right now, or can disconnect his computer and enjoy his or her Sunday in a different way. We got very straightforward visa procedures. That's another important takeaway. The university is the sponsor of the student, will take care of the visa application procedure, and it's kind of hassle-free for the students themselves, and the visa approval rate is incredibly high also for that reason. Plus, we got post-study work visas for international students. If you've completed a bachelor, a master, or a PhD in the Netherlands, you're allowed to stay in the country for at least 12 months to explore the job market, and there are plenty of opportunities also to continue your stay after this so-called orientation year. I'd like to share some facts and figures about NHL Stenden University of Applied Sciences. We're a top 3 University of Applied Science in the Netherlands, according to domestic rankings, a position you already hold for 4 years now, a position we're also very proud of. And as a University of Applied Science, we provide a combination of academic learning, but also definitely the hands-on application. So we're not a traditional research-led university. We're a university where we pay attention to the practical application of what you learn in theory. And I'm going to give a few examples later in this presentation as well. We're public. In the Netherlands means public is good, means well funded by the Dutch government. Also means that we can have high quality standards, strong facilities, and a good, excellent teaching community on our campus. We provide design-based education, a word I'm introducing here now for the first time, but about which I will explain a bit more later on as well. And our undergraduate students, they will all have a 7 to 10 month paid internship as part of their study program. So experience, industry-related experience is a essential component of our programs. Our master students do research projects with companies, so applied research with societal impact. That's an important aspect of master programs. And we have the modern facilities, of course, on campus, which again, you can also see through the virtual tour that I've tried to promote a bit earlier on. A map of the Netherlands. A map of the Netherlands you've probably seen before already through one of the other presenters, but now with 4 different cities in the northern part of the Netherlands. You just heard from Anneke, my colleague from Hanze University of Applied Sciences, based in Groningen. NHL Stenden's got its main campus in Leeuwarden, which is half an hour by train from Groningen, also in the northern part of the city. And I just jokingly said to Anneke, we're half the size of Groningen and Leeuwarden, but we're twice as beautiful. No, honestly, I live in Groningen myself. Both the cities are really nice places to spend a few years of your time. Leeuwarden, being slightly smaller than Groningen, was the cultural capital of Europe back in 2018. And it's also a very student-dominant city, very pleasant place to live. About 2 hours, 1.5 by car from Amsterdam. Furthermore, we got campus locations, smaller campus locations in Groningen, indeed, in Meppel, where we do teacher education programs for international schools. And we have a campus in Emmen as well, where we teach IT and supply chain management undergraduate programs. We're not only present in the Netherlands. One of the unique features of NHL Stenden is its international campus location network. So we have small campus locations. We're running in Bali, Indonesia, Bangkok in Thailand, and also in Port Alfred in South Africa. And our undergraduate students have the opportunity to go there for up to 1 semester, typically in the 3rd year of their degree program, to study one of the minors, their so-called specialization subjects. And this is really one of the key things of our identity, to have this international orientation at NHL Stenden and to try and provide our students with as many international opportunities as possible. We're also part of the Erasmus Exchange network. We have a number of partnerships in Europe, in Asia, in North and Latin America. And we're also part of a recently started university consortium in Europe, where we have strong partnership in a number of countries, including Austria and Finland. We got 14, if I'm correct, English taught undergraduate programs, all of them with a duration of 4 years, and all of them with 1, and in some cases even 2 mandatory internships as part of the program. Tuition fees are also identical for all these programs, and in all these programs we also teach according to the design-based education methodology. I'm not going to go into too much detail about what kind of subject you're getting taught in which individual program. If you really are interested in one of these specific programs, come down and speak to me or my student alumni after this presentation. Our courses include hospitality, tourism, leisure, and events. Those were subjects that NHL Stenden is already known for decades in Europe and beyond Europe. We also have business administration, creative business, which at the moment is our most popular undergraduate program for students who wish to establish a career in the creative industry. We have logistics or supply chain management, IT, marketing, 2 unique teacher education programs for international primary and international secondary schools. Communication and multimedia design for students who want to become a design professional, for example, towards game design or multimedia design, art and sound design, a variety of options with a lot of freedom to choose in this program where you'd like to take your career to. We have European studies, which is basically international relations in the context of Europe, and international human resource management, a program on the cutting edge of business and people. 4-year programs, as I mentioned, so 25 of them approximately devoted to an internship. Admission requirements at NHL Stenden and in the Netherlands in general are quite straightforward. In our country, it's your right to have higher education pretty much, which means that the entry requirements are pretty realistic. So the ones you see on the screen, like a Taiwanese senior high school diploma, that's the minimum requirement. Now, that doesn't mean that it is easy to complete a study degree in the Netherlands. We're going to push you in order to earn your credits. So you need to work in order to be and stay a student on the program, despite that the entry requirements are quite reasonable. In addition to your high school diploma, we also require an English proficiency score for like IELTS or TOEFL, IELTS 6.0 or higher. And we have an English language foundation program on campus for students who meet the academic requirements, but still have English at the level of 5 or 5.5. Important deadlines to mention here is the 1st of June for students from outside the EU for our September intake. And we also have a February intake, in fact, for some of our undergraduate programs for which the application deadline is the 1st of November. Now, I'd like to recommend those of you interested in our programs to not wait until the 1st of June to submit your application, because it doesn't give you an awful lot of time to prepare actually your journey to and into the Netherlands. So my recommendation would be to, despite the rather late application deadlines, to submit your application for one of our programs no later than February, March, mid-March maybe, okay? Yeah, design-based education. I've mentioned it twice or three times before. NHL Stenden started to adopt this teaching principle, or this education principle, which is a better phrase, about 4 years ago. And we've now implemented across all our undergraduate programs. And basically, design-based education is one of the most realistic ways of learning, because it involves our students working in multidisciplinary teams together with students from their own program, but also students from other programs on real-life projects. So they form groups, multidisciplinary teams of students, lecturers, researchers, and staff members from particular companies to work on real challenges. We call them design challenges, and in those challenges, which they tackle through a particular methodologic way, they work on the solution for these cases. Obviously, this is very realistic to what you'll encounter later on in your professional career, because also when you're in a career later on, it's not, you know, checking a textbook or sometimes checking your manager. It's about, you know, trying to grasp and understand the problem and have the skills and knowledge to actually you know, find out what the best way is to approach or tackle a project or challenge. So education is not just about, you know, subject A, B, or C. It's also about, you know, transforming into a professional. And design-based education, we believe, and we also see, because of the appreciation of both students and companies, is a great way to get there. It is a bit challenging in the beginning, though, because at first you'll think, oh, this is very different from what I'm used to in my home country. Whether your home country is Taiwan or India or Brazil, doesn't really matter. This is different. You need a couple of months typically to adjust to the new system. You've got time for this. Also, our Dutch students, they need to adjust to this, and through also, yeah, talks, conversations with your academic coach and supervisor. My colleague Anneke already before mentioned that there's quite a lot of support in the university you can benefit from. You'll be able to grasp this within a few months and actually start to really enjoying it, which is also important. We offer a number of master programs as well at NHL Stenden in English: hospitality and service management, tourism, leisure and events, content and media strategy, and computer vision and data science. And the latter is very much around the topic of image data analysis, about through which a lot of data is being analyzed. So more towards machine learning, IT, AI and careers related. Content and media strategy is a niche within marketing and communication, and it's the only program as such where you get the theory and the practical skills to develop actually a content and media strategy and being able to execute this for an organization. And hospitality, tourism, and leisure and events, those are the two of the main topics our university cares about. Our university is also based in an area where these subjects very much drive the local economy, and these are top ranked in the Netherlands. Fees are just under 12,000 euros per year, and these are indeed one-year programs starting every year in September. The admission requirements for master programs involve you having a bachelor degree, a related one, an IELTS 6.0 or higher overall. Work experience is not mandatory for admission into our master programs. And we typically assess every application on its individual merits. So we not just look at your degree or your grade sheet. We try to, get a picture of you as a student and as a personality. And if you, for example, have a degree which is somewhat less related, but have work experience and a very solid motivation to join such program, we may still invite you for an interview for the program and see if there's a good fit between you and the program. The application deadline is identical to the one for our bachelor program, so June 1st, but the same story is applicable. Don't wait until June 1st. Studying in Leeuwarden, although we are multi-campus, studying in Leeuwarden is what most of our international students do because we offer the most of our programs over there, and it's the former cultural capital in Europe. Very pleasant, charming university city, as Mr. Wu here can testify, who's been there a couple of times, right? At least, when were you for the last time? 2018?
My first time to visit Leeuwarden, that's a long time ago. I think it's 25 years ago.
25 years even. Right. It's changed a lot in 25 years. Yeah.
See,
long time ago. It's also a very safe place to live, which I think is an important takeaway for the parents in particular in this room. It's small scale, which means you can easily travel from your home to the university campus in a matter of minutes. And we all bike, of course, in the Netherlands, which is a very safe way of getting around. It's cozy, it's comfortable. It's got more affordable housing compared to most other cities in the Netherlands. I'll tell a few more things about housing later on. And it's got, like you've seen on one of the previous maps, it's very close in proximity to the city of Groningen. And actually, the Netherlands is so small, the connections are easily made through road or through rail within hours, even to the most southern part of the Netherlands. If you Google housing, students, Netherlands, I'm quite sure you're going to find some horrifying stories about or from students who are desperately seeking for accommodation in the Netherlands. And housing indeed is a topic you'll need to take very seriously if you go to the Netherlands for higher education. There is barely enough housing to accommodate all students in the Netherlands, but there are a few things you can do to limit the risks for yourselves, basically. Of course, the most important one is to make arrangements timely. So don't wait until June or July when you start looking for accommodation, but do it way earlier, right? Most universities provide information on their websites, what tips they can get you to find housing in the local environment. I very much appreciate what NHL Stenden has done to its international students, and that's offering a first-year housing guarantee, at least for the ones that come to our Leeuwarden campus. We have some beautiful on-campus accommodation, which is managed by our housing partner, Student Stay. There's 4 towers, very similar to the one you see behind me, and at the moment they're building a 5th, which is normally opening in the summer of 2023, so just before the next academic year starts. Then you can rent the place there for a year. After that year, you need to move into private housing accommodation, so on the private market. But that's more easy to arrange as soon as you've got a bit of a local network, as opposed to when you need to look from housing from here in Taipei, when you lack that local network and may fall into all kinds of traps with all kinds of dodgy landlords. Yes, they also exist in the Netherlands. Fees to pay for housing. Most of our students pay between 400, 450, 500 euros. But I also know students who pay 350 or even less, and some just want more high-end accommodation, which is also available, okay? Yeah, I would like to end with some suggestions for you to get yourself more informed about NHL Stenden. You've just missed our previous online open day, which we held last Saturday. If you go to our website, there's still an opportunity to revisit the open day until the 26th of November, if I'm not mistaken, and join all kinds of sessions and program-specific presentations. In the next couple of weeks, we also host a number of webinars from specific programs for which you can register on our website. We have a virtual campus tour allowing you to see what it's pretty much like. The virtual tour is full of small jokes, so it's also quite funny to watch here and there. There's some quizzes in there. We have a Study in Holland podcast on our website, which we recorded just before the summer with a number of our international students. So I don't know how you feel about podcasts. I very much like them, and it's a good way to spend, perhaps, in public transport, checking out a few of these podcasts. Through our website, you can also chat with our students, and of course, there's an alumni from us here in the room, and we have a very keen Instagram account at NHL Stenden International, which is run by our own international students, where you can get a grasp of real life as a student at NHL Stenden. Thank you very much for your attention.